Right, just 2 days to go until England kick off their Euros campaign against Serbia on Sunday night. England are training behind closed doors today as they gear up for that match. Let's speak live to our senior reporter, Rob Dorsett. So good to see you, Rob, as always. England's big issue it's been this fitness of John Stones in the build-up to this game. Do you expect England will try and step up his workload as he recovers from illness, do you feel?
They absolutely will, Vicky. Yeah, they absolutely will. As you say, England training behind closed doors, so we don't know whether John Stones is out there on the training pitch as we speak to you right now. We've just driven past England's training base. We couldn't see them, but we could see the England team bus, so they're training as I speak to you right now. And of course, we saw John Stones training yesterday, and he looked absolutely fine, having recovered from that sickness bug, having supposedly recovered from the ankle injury he picked up in the final warm-up game against Iceland as well. But we don't know whether he played in the really intense training session after the cameras were turned away. That is absolutely key. At what level is John Stones able to train right now? Is he training well enough? Is he showing no ill signs for Gareth Southgate to be able to throw him in against Serbia in just 2 days' time now? It's a big call from the England manager. He'll rely an awful lot on the medical information that's coming his way. But John Stones, with 72 caps, an absolutely key part of that England defence, one of the most experienced players in the side, in the squad, actually, you have to say. Southgate will be desperate to get him out on the pitch against Serbia on Sunday if he possibly can. Yeah,
he certainly will. What about the goalkeeper then, Jordan Pickford? He's going to face the media, isn't he, live on Sky Sports later this afternoon. And we know that psychology plays such a big role as a goalkeeper. So how will he be getting himself mentally ready, do you feel, for the test of the tournament football?
Do you know what? He's one of the most calm people you can meet. He's so laid back, Jordan Pickford. I've known him for years, and this will be his 4th major tournament. So he's been there and done it. He's seen it all before. But it'd be really interesting to hear from him later. 2:15, that news conference with Jordan Pickford. We'll bring that to you live on Sky Sports News. It'd be really interesting to hear his perspective on what feels different in this camp to the other 3 tournaments he's been away at with England. Remember, half the squad's different. There are 13 new faces in this England squad of 26 compared with the 26 who went to Qatar just 18 months ago. But you're right about goalkeepers, you're right about the concentration levels they need. Jordan Pickford, clearly England's number 1, but I spoke to Aaron Ramsdale, England's number 2 probably, yesterday, you have to say, and asked him about that. Remember, Ramsdale has only made 1 Premier League start since November, but played for England in that disappointing 1-0 defeat to Iceland. He was very hard on himself about that, thought he should have done better with the goal, but he says he will be doing everything he possibly can to support Jordan Pickford in the build-up to this game and other games in the tournament, but he knows as well he has to be absolutely ready should anything happen to Jordan Pickford.
To any footballer playing in a flow, you get into habits and you just get that feeling of how you're doing and where to be, make the right decisions. But yeah, I was disappointed in myself because there's always things you can analyse, but I know that if I do it properly, it doesn't matter if it's been 5 months, 6 months or a year, I'll be able to put in a performance for 90 minutes, to look after myself and help the team.
So look, Rob, you said earlier that England are training right now. What's the plans for the rest of the day with just 2 days away from that game with Serbia?
Well, as we said, this training session is behind closed doors, so they'll be doing much more of the specific tactical preparation for Serbia on Sunday. And of course, we're talking about John Stones. The defenders will start being put through their paces, preparing to face the challenge that is Alexander-Arnold. We know him so well in the Premier League, don't we, from Newcastle and Fulham. He's all-time leading goal scorer for Serbia with 58 goals. Very physical, very good in the air. So what are England doing in terms of set pieces on that training pitch to try and nullify his threat? Once they finish that training session, they'll go back to their luxurious team hotel away from the prying eyes, tight security back there, where they'll be having some massages, some physio, and then they're all going to sit down and watch the Scotland-Germany opening game tonight. Conor Gallagher told us about that when we spoke to him yesterday. He said there's a really big TV screen by the swimming pool where they'll probably all get together and sit and watch it. We did ask Conor Gallagher who everybody will be rooting for, because remember, Gallagher himself could have played for Scotland because of a Scottish grandmother, I think it was. But he kept that pretty close to his lips in terms of who the England squad are going to be watching and cheering for tonight. And just by the way, chilly, cloudy here today, so I don't think England's players will be out and in that pool later on, but they will be watching the opening game.
There might be a little small Rob Dorsett size place for you to go and watch with them, maybe. Finally, the referee for England's game with Serbia has been announced. Could you tell us a little bit more about him? What do you know?
Yeah, look, I don't want to big this up too much because I don't like focusing on goalkeepers too much. UEFA, FIFA, the PGMOL back in the UK like to keep them anonymous and talk about their impartiality, of course, but he is Italian. Significant there, of course, when England lost on penalties to Italy in the final of the last Euros. Daniel Assato will take charge of England against Serbia tomorrow. Hugely experienced, 48. He's just retired, actually, from his career at Serie A. And in his final game between Atalanta and Fiorentina, he got a standing ovation from both sets of supporters. That doesn't happen very often, does it? But it shows you the quality of referee that he is. Although Luka Modric might disagree with you. He called him one of the worst and a disaster when Argentina beat Croatia in the semi-final in Qatar, because it was Orsato who was in charge of that one. Everybody's got an opinion on a goalkeeper, haven't they, Vicky?
Yeah, they certainly do indeed. On the ref, you mean. Right, thank you very much, Rob. Good to see you as always.